Greetings, all Shardvixen, and I'm still cold. I'm not as bad as I was Monday. I had a cold, but I'm still kind of cold. So today's video is a Rambling 101, and that's where I just kind of talk about things on my mind as they come to my mind. Sometimes they come, and sometimes they don't. I feel like my wings, I feel like my mask has seen better days. I keep saying I'm going to make another one, but I have this long list of crafting stuff, and I'm not sure I'm going to get to all of them. It also fits different when my hair is up, as it is right now. See my pretty rainbow hair? Yes, it's so darling. Now what will happen is I'll let it grow out a little bit, I think, and I'm going to go to a solid color. I'm not sure yet which solid color I'll do. Maybe I'll do all yellow and watch it change. You know, then it would change orange, deeper orange. The green will go green, deeper green. Blue will become a green. So I don't know. We'll see. I never know what I'm going to do till I start thinking about it, and then I'll start planning it out, and it'll be based on the colors I have. One of the things I've been thinking about this week is, so one of my favorite streamers and also a member of the Get It Game gang along with me is Pippin Plays, and he got his channel for streaming shut down, and he asked YouTube why, and YouTube sent him back a thing saying that they because he asked for an appeal and they didn't give him the appeal. He asked a couple of times and they just said it was against their community guidelines. And I read the community guidelines and I can't figure out how or what happened. Part of it might be the AI. Hang on. So it was kind of bothering me, and it still bothers me, because he's a small channel in comparison of the large screen things, but he's bigger than I am. He's like at 300 plus 350 or something, and I'm only at 160 or so. And so if YouTube can do that to a small channel who can't really fight back, what does that mean for me if all of a sudden I make a mistake in my title or something, and I get hit with this strike, and then I'm told that whatever I'm doing goes against the community guidelines? But if you read what it says in the contract as a YouTube creator, is that they at any time can deem whether you go against their community guidelines, and they don't really have to even say why, because that they own the property. So I've been thinking maybe the golden age of YouTube is done. Maybe my grandson's here with me. Hang on. Sorry, my grandson came through and decided he was playing with batteries. And it, that's no good because he chews on them. Both of my kids, well, my daughter didn't eat odd things, but my son did. Bobby Joe. Don't let him tell you otherwise. He still chews on weird things. Anyway, so I'm really worried about that. So I think I'm going to be researching and figuring out a way to kind of take all my gaming games and put them on Twitch, which is a platform that encourages that. I'm going to try to do the vlogs on YouTube and possibly Mixer. I got to see about that. And or maybe just create my own website, which is another option, and put my videos up there with a link from YouTube to there. The issue is that if I wanted to make money, which is not a thought on my mind, except in the back of my mind, like oh, maybe I could because other people have. If I did my own website, I could do my own advertisement there, but I would have to have a lot of people. So, and the same thing with YouTube, you have to have a lot of people to have any say. I mean, you have to have 1,000 people and something like 5,000 views to be able to be eligible for Super Chat, to be able to make money off of. And I wasn't really into the ad thing because the restriction of the censorship really bothered me about the ad stuff. So I kind of think that it would be better, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure that there should be some censoring done on, terrorist activities and things like that. But on the same token, if you can't make a distinction between a terrorist and a person who might be talking about terrorism, then that is kind of not good. And that's how I find censorship happens anyway. The moment you start censoring all the way down the road until you're left with only the things that are so safe that they're boring. And then I'd leave my family channel here. So I have Shardvixen's magnificent channel, and that would be totally family friendly, and that would have puppets and all, and crafting and all that stuff, and it could just stay on YouTube until down the road I did build my own website, and maybe maybe I could just get sponsors for that. The question is that there are the possibilities of how to make money online are very large, but kind of complicated. In some ways it's easy, but as more people do it, then there'll be more restrictions on it. And so I'm not sure I'm really interested in the restrictions of that. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, what I want to do with that. And I don't want a whole video, rambling video about that. So let's see, what else? I once did a paper for school on mass shooting killers. So my theory, and this is just my theory, and it might upset a lot of people, and it might not, I don't know. My theory is that when we talk about mass shooters, and we're talking about like Las Vegas, and school shootings, and not necessarily bombers, mostly shooters and or knifer, or people who take hostages and then kill them. Bombing is kind of the same, but has a whole different, a bomber has a different mentality than, say, a mass shooter. So my theory on mass shooting is that it's a type of suicide, and it's an angry type of suicide. It's not, I'm not sad about myself only, I'm angry at the world, and it's the world's fault that I'm this way. So I'm going to go and take it out on every single person, whether I know them or not. Now, sometimes you'll have shooters, such as school shooting, where the shooters have specific people that they have in mind because they were picked on, or people didn't understand them or treated them poorly. And I'm not saying this forgives them in any shape or form. It doesn't. The choice that you make once it affects someone else is your responsibility, whether you're insane or not. But to do such a thing, you have to be deviant and insane. So I was always curious about, I wish that they could catch these people alive, so you could have conversations with them and ask them. And then in most cases, like if you look at the guy who did the shooting in the movie theater at a time about Batman, afterwards he was very severely sorry about it, not just because he got caught, but because he realized that he kind of went off the deep end and hadn't planned on coming back, but he mucked it up. So I really believe my theory is correct on that aspect, but I can't prove it because they're all dead. There's no way, you can't go back and look at the records. I mean, you can look at their life up until they started, and probably you might find the deeper you dig that there was just something off about the person. They had a hard time interacting with peers. They were always sad or seemed kind of off. But maybe not. I mean, serial killers don't have that aspect. You don't see, when you talk to people about serial killers, they're always charming. People like them, or they kind of fit in, and that's why nobody thought they were the serial killer. So that's just my thoughts on that. I think that it's very sad that that gentleman went to the top of a hotel and just randomly started shooting people. I don't think you can blame the guns on it. I don't think you can blame the availability of guns, because all of his guns were legal. I don't think you can blame the fact that you should have stricter ways of figuring out who is sane and who's not so they can buy a gun. I mean, having a mental break can come at any time. You could have been perfectly sane. He could have been perfectly sane when he bought all those guns. I don't know, you know, it's just one of those things that it's an interesting thing, because people don't want to blame mass shootings on mental health, but on the same token, and I get why they don't, because then everybody's going to be looking at you strange if, say, you're mentally ill. They'll be like waiting for you to drop the bomb, literally, or mass kill everybody. But I think that thinking about the fact that you have to have deviant thought, and deviant thought is thought, remember, if you go back and watch my bubbles, it's any thought that's not like everyone else's. Now, some are okay and don't hurt anybody. If I decide I want to tattoo my eyeballs, I'm in what, like 1% of the population who might think and do that. It doesn't necessarily hurt anybody but me. But if I want to do target practice on people, it's very likely that I'm like a very small percentage. And whenever you want to do harm to another person, that is not good. It's not just deviant thought, it's criminal thought. And that's how they kind of, how you have to look at it law wise. How they look at it is like, is this person mentally ill and was unable to make correct choices, or is this person mentally ill and still made incorrect choices but was able to make a choice? Like, he knew it was wrong to do this but went ahead and did it anyway. That's kind of the difference between serial killers and, you know, other types of killers. Is that, was it a, oh, it just popped in my head today and I want to go out and do it, or is this a long-term planning kind of thing and I've been planning on doing it? I haven't really watched much on the Las Vegas shooter, so I don't know if he was planning that. Like, he was, it didn't sound like his girlfriend thought he was. Like, she knew him in a certain light, but a lot of serial killers are that way too. Like I said, people know them in a certain light. They're not close to them, but they know them in a certain light. Sorry, I have a lot of itchy still. Let's see, what else? Cool weather's coming, which is interesting. Last year this time it was hot all the time. Now I'm cold all the time. Though I don't always wear something on my feet. So probably better if I did. I want to get really cold. I do. Because the fibromyalgia has a cold factor to it, where everything below my knees is like cold. And then I start having a fever and I gotta curl up and hide. So to go back real quick to my channel thing that I forgot, is that I'm going to start streaming more on Twitch and doing the videos on YouTube with some streaming. I just haven't decided how I'm going to move that. I think I'm going to wait till I start picking up people that are watching on Twitch. So if people aren't watching on Twitch, then it won't do me any good. I will never be able to move into that aspect of playing games and making money off of it. Though again, the goal of my video, the goal of my channel is pretty much doing animation, drawing, and I'll get there, and vlogs. Just because I'm pretty good at them, and I like talking about stuff. What else? Not really much else going on in my life. I pretty much have, like, I've hit this wall kind of thing where YouTube is what keeps me going. I have appointments all the time because they're trying to figure out what's wrong with my shoulder. So I'm constantly going someplace to have them poke and prod me. But for the most part, what gets me up in the morning is the fact that I have to put my my videos up. So between taking care, well, my son's 13, so I'm more here for support now, because in 5 years he'll be 18. So now we're doing the adult training, which is about how do I get along with the world outside. And then my grandson, and he's small, so he's just all about playing. So I think when I can, I've decided I have to look at the now and only live in the now. So I'm trying to get healthy again. So doing some exercise, even though it tires me out, just triggers that fibromyalgia like you wouldn't believe. The food thing, constantly a struggle. Talked about that. And then just one day at a time, wake up, do what I gotta do, and move through it. My plans are, Sundays is to get that crafting up and puppets. So we'll see if that goes along, because I kind of need my son's help on that. And that's it. I mean, this is a short one. Ramblings usually are, unless I have something on my mind I want to talk about. Oh, where I live has now put a ban on pit bulls. And luckily, my dog is listed by the vets as a lab mix. So that's a plus for me. I won't have to label him as a pit bull. But it's kind of it's weird when they do that. Because there's other dogs out there, I'm sure, that have attacked. But probably not in the same aspect. And apparently what happened, and I didn't know this, is that some children got mauled by a pit bull, which I could see. I mean, when people say, does your dog bite? Well, he hasn't bit me, but that doesn't mean he won't bite you. Because you don't know completely what an animal will do in times of stress. So if an animal is stressed and you didn't know he was stressed, then it's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen. And my grandson is very bad at just walking up to dogs he doesn't know. We've seen that, so I'm not saying the children deserve it. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't know if you can blame an animal for the viciousness. The owner should probably get tagged with it too. Alright, so that's it. Can't think of anything else at the moment for my rambling. Ramblings 101 will kind of merge into what's going on for the week, so, or the month. And now I have dogs barking. So, I'm out of here. Catch you all later. Peace.